Maple TA Exam Review Unit 3 Question number 15. Solve the following independent system of equations. In this one they've told us that it's independent, and that means that I will come up with a solution. So that was nice, and I see here that we have fractions or decimals. So in the previous example when we had fractions, I did show a cool trick to get rid of the fractions. In this one, I'm going to show how to get rid of the decimals, and it'll be easier in solving this to get rid of the decimals. And if you would like to keep them and work with them, that's fine. In this case, though, they are repeating, and you'll end up working with 3 repeating and 6 repeating. And so I think it'll be easier to get rid of the decimals first, and I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do to see that the decimal is only 1 decimal over, so it's the tenths. And so to move this decimal place over 1, I need to multiply all terms by 10 to move this decimal place 1, and all of these will also move. So same thing with this one here. I'm going to copy and paste these. Okay, and so to multiply everything here by 10, I'm going to show it using my notation. 10 times the quantity, the entire equation. And so in doing so, I end up with the distributive of 30, 40, and 257. So I'm going to write this down here. 30, 40, and 257. Same thing with the other one. All the decimal places will move over. So 10 times 10 is 100. 3 times 10 is 30. And the end will just move the decimal place over 1. Oh, not an O, 0. 0, and here the decimal place moves over 1 to the right, and so it's just 1. Okay, so now I can do substitution, or I can go through elimination as well. Let's see. I'm going to take this first one and we'll solve for x and keep it in fraction form, because now that I have this all worked out, I will end up dividing by something over here. Let's just solve for x. So on this left hand side we're going to add 40y, and on the right hand side we will also add 40y, y, and then on the left hand side we're only left with 30x, and on the right hand side we have positive 40y and minus 257. Okay, to continue solving for x here, we'll divide everything by 30. So I'm going to copy and paste this to show my work for the next step so I don't lose anyone. And I want to divide by 30 here. Oops. And then again, also on the other side, I'm trying to keep my equal sign lined up so that you can follow the steps. So here we'll divide by 30, and here we also divide by 30. And I know some of you are thinking, we just got rid of decimals and now we're working with fractions. If you would like to go ahead and work with decimals, I think I'll do the other video as well if you want to do the decimals. Okay, so 30 divided by 30 is 1. 1 times x is x. And then on the right hand side, 40 over 30 can be reduced as 4 over 3. So we'll keep that 4 over 3 y. And then minus, over here we have 257 over 30. I'm going to keep that because I don't think it simplifies nicely at all. 257, nope, it ends up as a decimal as well. So let's leave it, 257 over 30. And then we're going to take this and substitute it into the other equation. Make sure that you don't use the same one. And since I used the first one, I will go back to the second one and substitute this in for x right here. And remember, when we're substituting, put your parentheses in so that you make sure all of this, all of that becomes your x. All right. Okay, now we need to, using the distributive, multiply it by 100. So I have 400 divided by 3. I don't think anything, nope, nothing simplifies that nicely, so we'll just leave it 400 thirds y. And then multiplying that by 100, we can simplify 100 times this. One of the zeros down here will cancel out with one of the zeros here, or so that's how I think of it. Or you can just divide by simplifying it by dividing both by 10. So it ends up being negative, so I can write that out, 257 and then 2 zeros over 30, and one of those zeros we can talk about canceling out or just simplifying it by dividing both top and bottom by 10. And then I still have this minus 30y equals 1. Okay, and so now I'm going to combine my fractions here, or the y's. In fact, again, I have a bunch of fractions. If I want to, like the previous example, get rid of those by multiplying everything by 3, I could do that. So let's make it a little easier by multiplying everything by 3, just because we can, and maybe that will help eliminate some of the complication here. So if I multiply everything by 3 here, the first one, it cancels out the top and the bottom, so I'm just left with 400y. And then the 3's will cancel here as well, and so I'm left with negative 2,570. And then 3 times 30 gives me negative 90, and 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so, oh, that's a y. I forgot the 90y. Now I can combine the y's. 400 minus 90 gives me 310. 310y, and then I still have this negative 2,570, and that equals 3. Now I'm going to add 2,570 to both sides because I'm solving for y. Add 2,570, add 2,570, and then I have 310y, and try to keep my equal sign as lined up as I can, equals 2,573. Then I need to divide both sides by 310. 2,570. So y equals, so divide both of those, and going to have to use a calculator or Excel, and I end up with, actually let's do it here. 2,573 divided by 310, I think is what it was. And this is rounding out to 1 decimal place. I'm going to go see a couple more. 2,573. Yep, we did it. Okay, so this rounds out to 1 decimal place of 8.3. Okay, 8.3. If you were working with the fractions, which is what I had done in the previous video that I worked on, that ends up needing to be rounded. So this one, I thought it needed to be rounded, and it was already, it didn't round it for us. It is just 8.3. So that was wonderful. Now we can take that and substitute it into our equation that we solve for x here, and we'll copy and paste it here and substitute in our 8.3, and I'm just going to take this and copy and paste it into Excel. Paste here and make sure that I get my multiplication sign. Everything else looks good. Press enter. Oh, it's not liking something here. I guess we probably have some extra spaces. Yep, there's some spaces when we copied it over from Word. There we go. And 2.5, again, when I worked with the fractions, that one had to be simplified or rounded, and this one doesn't. It is just exactly x equals 2.5 because we eliminated all fractions and decimals when we worked on this. So we'll just put it in 2.5 and 8.3. If you wanted to work with the fractions, you can do that if you would like. I can post the video for those of you who want to keep the decimals. I'm sorry. Those of you who wanted to work with the decimals, just make sure to use Excel so that it doesn't round until the very end.